Hey, so I want to apologize for being late today. Technical difficulties. I was on record thinking I was live, having a great conversation with our next guest. And you know what? You didn't get to appreciate it. So we're back about 8 minutes late, and we're going to talk tonight about the Rotary. I've got with me Alan Gray. I met him a few years ago. I was asked to judge a youth speech contest. I had a great time. It was an experience for me. And I met Alan. I have to say, Steve Simpson was president of the Rotary at the time, and Tim Hodges is now president of the Rotary. And we have a special treat with Alan. I'm going to bring him into the studio. Hey, Alan, long time no see.
Hi, Ron. Good to be with you.
So, Alan, before we talk about the Rotary, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I am an attorney by trade. I was admitted to practice in 2015, and I worked for a small personal injury firm here in Westchester County. And then I moved into the court system, and I now work at the New York State Supreme Court, Appellate Division, First Department in Manhattan. And I take up a number of different roles within the court system. Outside my job title, I co-chair our wellness committee with one of our justices, Justice Tanya R. Kennedy, and we do work around mental health and wellness and substance use and recovery. I also am a member of the LGBTQ plus subcommittee for the 9th Judicial District's Access to Justice Committee. And the 9th Judicial District includes us here in Yonkers and in Westchester. And outside of my job entirely, I am now entering actually my 20th year of being involved in competitive speech and debate in one form or another. So I have volunteered with Yonkers Partners in Education to coach. I am involved in Toastmasters. And of course, I am a member of our Yonkers Rotary Club, which I'm thrilled to be able to talk with you about tonight.
Wow, that is a full schedule. I don't know how you have time for everything. But thank you. We're always a lot better when we have volunteers working within our community. So let's talk about our main topic. What is the Rotary?
Rotary is, in short, an international public service organization. And it was, at an international level, it was founded in 1905, and today has more than 1.4 million members in more than 46,000 clubs around the world. And it is truly an international organization. It has 7 main causes that it champions. And I had to make sure to write some of this down because I didn't want to misstate any of it. I know I'm going to get phone calls if I do. Its causes include promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. And that fighting disease cause is the one that most people are perhaps likely to have heard about Rotary in connection with, because one of Rotary's main causes that it's championed for decades has been the eradication of polio. And it took up that cause. It started championing that cause in 1979. And today, polio is endemic to only 2 countries on the world, Afghanistan and Pakistan. So the eradication of polio is possible and in fact likely within our lifetime. And it's because of Rotary's efforts that it has become attainable for us. As for Rotary within Yonkers, the Yonkers Rotary Club was chartered in 1920, so it in and of itself is over 100 years old. There was another club, the Rotary Club of East Yonkers, that was chartered in 1958, and then those 2 clubs merged in 2014. So that's why now we are the Rotary Club of Yonkers, East Yonkers.
How many members in the Rotary Club of Yonkers, East Yonkers?
We have about 40 members, and we're always welcoming new guests to our meetings and always invite people to join us as full members.
So are there any qualifications to be a Rotarian?
Just a willingness to serve others for no other purpose than being of service. Obviously, we are a busy club, we are busy people, and so we want our members to be involved. We don't want people just to join and then never hear from them again. Of course, people get busy and things happen. We don't expect perfection, but we want all of our members to be able to contribute. So if you're able to participate in some of the things that our club does, and you're financially solvent enough to pay the membership costs that come along with joining our organization, then we want to have you as one of our members.
And Alan, what are the financial commitments?
So the membership dues, I had to double check to get the breakdown. So it is $217 per year to join our club. And that some of that money goes to Rotary International for its work. Some of that goes to our Rotary district. And our district includes not just Westchester County, but also the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and even Bermuda. And that money that the district raises through its dues goes to support district-wide projects, either through the entire district or district projects in certain areas of targeting certain communities. And then some of those dues also go to the Rotary Foundation, which is the fundraising arm for Rotary International.
So I've posted the website to the Yonkers Rotary if people have an interest in looking in the website, seeing who the members are, who the executive committee is. Tell us about some of the recent projects that the Rotary's been involved in.
The one that we've done, probably one of our biggest projects most recently that we have completed, has been the rehabilitation of Lennon Park. That was actually the second phase of a larger anti-bullying project that we undertook. And some of the work that we did there included renovating the basketball court, planting trees, and getting benches installed. And our club, through not only our own local fundraising efforts, but through international connections, we partner not just with our own district, that again includes Westchester, the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Bermuda. We actually partnered with a district based in South Korea and a club there, the Yeochen Rotary Club. And then the International Rotary Foundation as well. All of these people helped contribute to bringing this project to completion. And ultimately, we contributed $35,000 to the city's work in order to rehabilitate this park. So this is one of the bigger projects that your viewers are likely to have heard about us having done. We've also done, please.
I'm sorry. Well, here's the picture of our elected officials along with Rotary, with the Rotary members to present it. And I just think it's great when you can combine city services with some private or nonprofit donations that really help get us more money, get us more value for our money when doing these projects.
That's absolutely right. And that's the whole point behind Rotary. A lot of people ask me where Rotary gets its name from. And it comes from when the first 4 or 5 people who formed Rotary in 1905 in Chicago were from different professions. They rotated their meetings around one another's offices. And the whole point of their group of forming Rotary was because they realized the value that each of their different perspectives had. One was a lawyer, one was an engineer, one was an architect. And so by contributing their different professional perspectives and connections, they were able to be more effective agents of change. And that's what Rotary ultimately seeks to do. I offer my own opinions and perspectives as an attorney. We have members who are realtors. We have members who are doctors. We have all different kinds of people in our club professionally. And so we're able to, as you said, partner with governments, with other nonprofits, with private enterprise in order to actually bring some of these projects to completion. And I should mention, too, that we're not only diverse in terms of our careers and our professions, but we're also diverse as people. This lapel pin that I wear is from the Rotary LGBTQ+ Fellowship. So I'm able to contribute what my life experience has been like as a gay person. We have members who are Black, who are Asian, who are Hispanic or Latino. We have members who are men and women. We have members who are first-generation Americans or who still aren't even American citizens. And so the Yonkers Rotary Club is an incredibly diverse club, but so is Rotary International as a whole. And as we continue to diversify, we continue to expand our reach in terms of the good things that we're able to do.
So the park is an infrastructure project. It's a hard project. People get to use it, but you also have some impact in projects that are thought-worthy, like the speech contest. Can you tell us how you arrived at the idea for a youth speech contest?
Absolutely. And as I mentioned before, having this large background in speech and debate, one of the things that I thought when I joined was, well, what can I contribute? I obviously am an attorney, but working in the court system, I can't give legal advice to private people or groups. I can't represent clients because I'm within the court system. So what actually am I able to contribute? And so my speech and debate experience was a natural extension there. But in fact, when I was in high school, I participated in a speech contest that my local Rotary Club in Florida had organized. So I joined and I said, well, I have this experience with Rotary and my speech contest, my competitive speech and debate experience. Maybe we could do our own contest. And so a little over 2 years ago, after I joined, they loved, the rest of the club loved the idea and said, here's a pile of money and here's a bunch of people, go make that happen for us. And that's exactly what I was thrilled to be able to do.
I found it to be a great experience. I've attended. I think there's been two, right?
Yes,
We've had
this
two of them.
last year, this past spring was our second contest, and we fully expect and anticipate to have our third this coming spring.
And I'm looking forward to attending that. The topic was, if I were mayor, what would I do? As I recall, and there were some really thoughtful. What were the age ranges, Alan?
In our first year, the contest was between ninth grade and 12th grade, so it was just for high schoolers. We heard that year, though, of so many students that wanted to participate that were in middle school and even elementary school. So this year we opened it up to anyone K through 12 who wanted to participate, and we did. We had robust participation at every single age group.
And it was even. I mean, some of the younger students really stunned me with how much time and effort they put into thinking the problem out and then thinking the solution out. It's really a place that some of our own elected officials, and I don't want to bring politics into this particular show, but just our own elected officials or even folks working within our community as volunteers, there were really good solutions. So I encourage at the next speech contest for people to attend and support our youth in their endeavors. Um, One of the past shows I really enjoyed was the car show, and I think that was Steve Simpson's brainchild. Yes.
Yes, Steve is our immediate past president currently, and he came up with this idea to try to create a fundraiser for students going into higher automotive education, because there are a million scholarships out there for people like me that want to go to law school or that want to pursue maybe a traditional collegiate or university level type of education. But there isn't really any kind of scholarship fund available for students that want to pursue a trade. And what Steve brought to our attention, because he teaches automotive students, he told us that for these students, not only is there typical, room, board, tuition, all the things you would normally expect going into a higher education, but they have to show up on day one with more than $7,000 worth of their own tools. And that's, we're not talking books. We're not talking, just the fee per credit hour. They have to show up with a bag of tools that cost more than $7,000 that belongs to them. So we came up with the car show as a way to raise money to support those students. And so the money that, in fact, we raise goes to scholarships for these students. And so again, this was our second year. This past summer was our second year doing it. And we fully expect June 2024, we're going to be doing our third car show as well.
And it was free to attend. I think you paid to enter. There was a great turnout. Some real classic cars. I put a few pictures together. Obviously there. I don't know. Do you recall how many cars were in the show?
I think this past year I should remember because I was handing out the cards that had the numbers on them, so I should remember exactly how many there were.
Yeah,
But
I was 98 or something, so and I came kind of early, so there were a lot of cars.
I was going to say, I think we were just over 100 cars in the show,
Yeah.
and
So
we have plans. we were introduced to a whole world of car show culture that a lot of us didn't know existed when we were putting this together. But we have plans to coordinate with other groups that put on car shows and other service groups that put on projects around the same time, so that we can not only expand the size of the project, but make sure it doesn't conflict with some other events and car shows in the area. But again, it goes to show you that the value we get in having these different perspectives is just incredible. This is an idea I would have never thought of if you gave me $1 million and 1,000,000 hours to think of something. But it's something that we were able to come up with as a team and execute as a team just to better our community.
And that speaks to the diversity of an organization. When you have people from so many backgrounds who can contribute, you wind up with these great ideas.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's, some of the other projects that we've done, again, things we would have never thought to think of on our own, but we helped to build the sensory garden in Grant Park. We connected with local restaurants during COVID to distribute meals to the community, and we distributed PPE to first responders. We helped renovate another park, the School 9 playground area. We did that in partnership with Morgan Stanley and Kaboom in order to give children a safe place to play. We bought a school bus for the African Dream Academy in Liberia. So, I was doing research going through and speaking with some of our members to make sure I hadn't missed anything. And I've got a page and a half of different projects we've done. And that's just in recent memory. I'm sure if I had enough time and energy and went back 100 years, the kinds of things that we've done in this community are so incredible. And again, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of such a great organization.
I'm going to run just through a couple pictures for the car show because it was a great selection. There were really some great cars there. I couldn't include everything. We'd be here, for 2 shows. This was, I think, Chuck Zito's car he had attended. It was really a lot of fun. There were a lot of good people attending, and it was, who's that guy?
I know, someone familiar. I offered to enter my my father-in-law's Ford Escape, but I don't think that was quite the caliber of car that they were looking for in the show.
No, it was, but it was a great show, and I look forward to it next year. And do you have any future events coming up?
Well, we have several. In addition to some of our annual events, like we were discussing, the car show, our speech contest coming up. We also facilitate and put on the Administrator of the Year dinner every year for an administrator in the Yonkers public school system. We are going to be distributing pencils. This is another project that we do every year: distribute pencils to first graders in Yonkers public schools, and even that is a project that when we initially came up with it several years ago, it was something we thought, is there really going to be any value in doing this? It's pencils, and to first graders, do we really need to do this? And every year that we do it, we hear stories of so many teachers who either don't have the resources to procure pencils for their own students themselves, or even students themselves whose families aren't able to provide those kind of basic necessities to succeed in school. So these are real differences that we're making. They're not always as big and flashy as being able to put our sign on Lennon Park, but they're still having profound effects on our communities. So that's another project that's coming up. We have our annual pancake breakfast that we do, one of our fundraising efforts. That will be in the fall. We also have a wine tasting event that we put on, so you can have pancakes in the morning, and then another evening you can come taste some excellent wine with us. That's actually going to be October 25th at Zupa. And again, some of our annual efforts, we do a turkey distribution every year around Thanksgiving. The first Friday of every month, we volunteer at YCAP and help distribute food to members of our community. And even YCAP during COVID, they needed a walk-in freezer, and we were able to help get them that.
What does YCAP stand for?
That was the one thing I didn't write down.
So I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I'm going to get a phone call in about 10 minutes, and someone's going to tell me how did I not remember that.
If one of our viewers, we have a few viewers watching, if one of them knows what YCAP is and wants to put it in the comments, I'll put it up on the screen. Um,
I'm going to blame
but
it on the studio lights that I have here and just say I got the deer in headlights effect.
okay, I mean, you're a perfect public speaker. Um, so anyway, Robert Stoff, I put his comment up. He had said the guest is outstanding. It's an outstanding representation of the Rotary, and he's a former president of the East Yonkers Kiwanis and Riverdale Kiwanis, so he says that in that capacity. So I tend to keep these at about 20 minutes, and that's where we are. And I know we could probably go on for another 20 minutes and just scratch the surface of the Rotary. But I appreciate that you've come on. I've put the website of the Rotary in the comments if people are interested in joining. I've met some of the Rotarians; they're great people. By the way, I want to give the photo credit. There was a photo credit. You have a photographer. She's a professional photographer. Would you just mind, so I don't mispronounce her name?
Yes, Aura Latif, and she's again one of our club members, but she's a professional photographer, so she's able to bring that expertise to our club.
So all of the pictures that I've put up, so some of the pictures from Lennon Park, they were courtesy of the Yonkers City Hall city, and Ms. Latif's photographs. I wanted to give her credit for the car show because they're just beautiful. The colors are popping on that. So I thank you, Al. Is there anything you want to leave our audience with, or?
Well, again, we of course want if this sounds like a group that you want to be a part of, then we would love to have you come to one of our meetings. Our next club meeting is going to be Wednesday, August 30th and this is again one of those meetings where we'll move around town, but we're going to be meeting at Punta Agave Restaurant at 405 South Broadway. That's Wednesday, August 30th at 6:15. So you're welcome to come drop in and see what we're up to and consider joining our club. But more importantly, if you're watching this and you're a member of our community and you have an idea for a way that we can help, then we want to hear from you too, because we only know about the problems that we know about. So when someone brings a new problem or a new need to our attention, our first question is, how can we help to be part of the solution? So whether you are watching and interested in being a member, or you're interested in contributing to our community service efforts, or you have an idea for a way that we can help you, then we want to hear from you, because that's our goal ultimately, is putting service above ourselves.
Well, Alan, I appreciate it. Bob Stoff again. I get he's the Yonkers Community Action Program is YCAP.
Yes. I was going to say I was going to have to go do my research immediately afterward. Leave it in your comments. Thank you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So that's why it's good to have knowledgeable. We have an intelligent, knowledgeable audience, and it's good to bring them into the conversation. So, Alan, I hope we can have you back at a later date to talk about the Toastmasters, because that's another organization. I think I shared with you. I'm doing this a little bit. I'm fine in front of people, but when I get on Zoom, and right now I'm talking to a camera because Alan's picture is to my right, and you'll notice my eyes kind of shift in whichever direction. I don't know which way the camera's oriented. So I'm trying to improve my skills, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. Alan, I appreciate that you've joined us. I have a lot of respect for you and a lot of respect for what the Rotary does. And please, if you have time to contribute, I think it's a great organization. They're doing a lot of good in Yonkers, not just the hard goods, but the engagement, the mind engagement for our young folks, and that's so important. So thank you, Alan, and thank you for spending this time with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Ron. It's been a pleasure.
And unfortunately, this is I haven't done a music to take us out yet, so I'm going to provide the same music that we came in with. Thank you.